Hello, welcome to the vlog. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be riding the middle section of the General James A. Van Fleet State Trail. This is going to be part two of the three-part series that I'm breaking up the state trail in. This is the middle section. I'm going to be riding from Green Pond Road trailhead northward about 10 miles to the Bay Lake trailhead. This stretch, the landscape is going to be a bit different than the first video in that in the first video, the landscape was a lot of open pasture lands, cow farms, things of that nature, ranches. Whereas the landscape on this stretch, this 10-mile stretch, tends to be more forested and more swampy. Now, swampy being a relative term because we're in a bit of a drought right now. So the normally wet areas might be dry. But we'll see. The cows are lowing behind me. They're ready to go, wishing me a good ride. So come join me and let's have a outdoor adventure. This stretch of the Van Fleet State Trail is a beautiful ride through the woods, but be forewarned, there is no drinking water anywhere on the trail once you leave this parking lot, and that includes the Bay Lake trailhead 10 miles up. So if you're going to do an out and back ride, be sure you bring enough water with you to cover the and back part of your ride. That is a red-shouldered hawk. I'm only a mile or so down the road, and I've already left the cow pastures behind and into a healthy stand of pine trees. As you ride along the Van Fleet Trail, a very common sight you'll see right on the side of the trail are mounds of sand, and they were put there by gopher tortoises. That's the burrow of a gopher tortoise. They're very common along the Van Fleet Trail. Sometimes they're obvious with a pile of sand. Sometimes they're kind of subtle. And sometimes they're way back there. I've come to the section known as the bridges. When you're riding south to north, this is the first bridge you come to. It's only about 2 miles up from the Green Pond Road trailhead. And it's one of the interesting features on this stretch of trail. These were the old railroad line. These are the bridges going over low areas, allowing water to flow. I think it flowed from here to there. I think that's the direction it was generally going. But Another interesting feature. And here's a county line. I'm in Polk County, about to go into Lake County. Generally goes over what is normally a swampy area, but we're in a bit of a drought right now. I haven't had a lot of rain, and as you can see, what is normally flooded is now pretty dry. So this is the second of the 3 bridges that are on this section of trail. It's only about half mile up the road. Comes complete with a bat box. And as I was mentioning earlier about how we're in a bit of a drought and the water levels are quite low, as you can see, in the past this would be completely flooded and look like a big old lake. So even the residents are having a hard time making a living. If you saw my previous video, the Van Fleet Trail Part 1, you may remember that I came across a small alligator that was directly on the trail. I'm sure it was there because of the drought, and it was because it was looking for a small pond to call its own. And this is the third of the 3 bridges along this stretch. They're all within a mile of each other. And as you can see, it is swampy, but we're also missing a bunch of water. All right. Trail rangers do a really good job of highlighting any bad or rough patches in the trail surface itself, as you can see by the high visibility lines they painted onto the trail. This stretch of the trail is in much better condition than the first segment, which can be very rough, bumpy, and has a lot of cracks in it. So now I'm about 8 miles up the trail. I got about 2 miles to go. And I've left, apparently, the swamp behind. Because now the landscape has opened up. Lots of pine trees, lots of grasses. Lots of open terrain. So I'm at the Bay Lake Trailhead, 10 miles north of Green Pond Road where I started. The trailhead here is a little more than just a parking lot, a picnic table, and a place to go to the bathroom. But that's all you need to start walking or get on your bike and go. The trail itself, again, there's nothing challenging physically to the trail. It's straight as an arrow, flat as a board. But the scenery on this stretch of trail was just beautiful. Lots of ecosystems. You go through heavy swamps, lots of cypress trees, pine forests, oak hammocks, wide open grasslands, pasture lands. It's really beautiful. When I first started this morning, I was out here just after dawn, and you could hear all the birds starting to wake up and call, and it's just a wonderful time to be out in nature. And that's what you're going to get when you ride. There are a few houses out here, but by and large, you are on the trail and you are by yourself. So, beautiful ride. Thank you for joining me on the outdoor adventure, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.